What's up, my friend? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to take a look at CineStrings PRO. We're going to do a quick overview of the library, take a look at what it offers, and then play through some of the patches just so we can get a sense of what it sounds like as well. So this is the new addition to MUSIO. They finally completed the last section of the orchestra in terms of the PRO lineup because their CineSymphony series usually consists of a chord library and a PRO library. So we already had Cinebrass Pro and Core, CineWinds Pro and Core, CinePerk is an all-encompassing library. The Strings Pro was missing for a long time, and now they brought it over to MUSIO. And it'll be interesting to see if they put it in Contact as well. I think a lot of people would appreciate that, I myself included. I personally prefer Contact over other players. That's just a personal thing. But if you want to get access to CineStrings Pro, then you do have to sign up for MUSIO, at least at the time of this recording. So that's just one thing to keep in mind here. So CineStrings Pro, I couldn't really find too much of a walkthrough video or too much of a product description on the cinesamples or MUSIO website. So let's just kind of take a look ourselves at what it kind of comes with here. So if we take a look at the library CineStrings Pro, first of all, we have a bunch of key switch patches. There also are some ensemble patches, which makes it pretty easy to get your sketches up and running. So you can have a key switch ensemble, key switch just for violins, violas, cellos, and basses. So then you get the individual sections there. Then you have a whole bunch of ensemble patches, which cover the majority of the articulations included in this library. So let's take a look. We have regular sustains. We have sustains in octaves. Then we have sustains concertino or with mute. Then we have staccato, staccato in octaves, pizzicato, and then crescendo in octaves. So far, the articulations look pretty standard with the exception of maybe the concertino. Then here is where we get more of the outside articulations, right? The ones that are less traditional. So we have some aleatoric runs, harmonic glissandi, some clusters, snaps, and tunes. And yeah, I found the Pro libraries to be more experimental in nature, and I think that that's one of the focuses of this library as well. And then they get into the individual the sections, but also the individual articulations as well. So for me personally, I love legato, right? And that for my style of music, I use legato quite a bit. So it's nice to see that they have multiple types of legato here, bowed and fingered. So we'll hear both of those in just a second. And then of course we have the sustains, staccato, tenuto. Tenuto is another one here. You can see both sol ponticello and concertino and sol tasto, so playing in different areas on the violin, above the bridge, below the bridge, resulting in different sound qualities. And then we have the aleatoric runs, harmonic glissandi, and the penderecki sound. I think I pulled that up here as well. Let me double check. Yes, I have that in the violin, so we'll hear that as well at the end. And then the violas, celli, and basses all basically have similar articulations. So yeah, a nice mix of standard and aleatoric stuff. So let's get into it. Let's hear the violin's fingered legato first. As you can see here, it starts from G, G3, all the way up to C7. Okay, let's have a listen to these violins here. So I'm gonna go back to the instrument. And here in terms of the feature set, you can see you can trigger the release curve, expression, but I'm leaving everything as is out of the box. So this is what the fingered legato in the violin sounds like. All right, and let's have a listen to the bowed legato, and then we'll go over some impressions. All right. So yeah, my first impressions are pretty positive. I think I like the overall sound. It's very clear, very detailed. It does err on the brighter side of things, right? Very similar to CineStrings Core in that way, but this library does feel a tad more polished than CineStrings Core, if I'm being honest. I do like the legato transitions in general. I think they're a bit more obvious near the bottom of the range. Like if you play near the bottom there, you can hear the transition a little bit more actively than if you play in the upper registers, it's a little bit smoother of a transition. And I'm not sure, maybe that's just a programming thing, or maybe my ears are tricking me, but it feels slightly more obvious, those transitions. Like I can hear when the transition kind of starts and it kicks in and then transitions to the new notes, whereas the upper ones feel a bit more smoothly blended in, if you will. Also, I think the name Appassionata for these legato patches is quite suitable because even at the very bottom of the mod wheel, you still hear that vibrato, and it sounds like they're playing at about like an MF dynamic at the very lowest. Right, you can still hear it. So I'm at the bottom of the wheel, but if I really push up, then they get into that fortissimo territory. So I think Appassionata really works. It's not like an all-encompassing legato patch where it goes super, super quiet and then rises up to the highest dynamics. This one really focuses on the middle dynamics up to the very top, which I personally do like, especially as a layering library. This kind of reminds me of something like soaring strings from musical sampling. Very, very pretty. Okay, so that being said, let's move on to the fingered legato from the violas. And I believe the violas only come with fingered legato. Let me quickly check here. Let's go down to the violas. So yeah, only fingered legato. There is no bow legato. So let's have a listen to that. Cool. Gets a little scratchy up there in those higher notes, but overall, it's still a very, very kind of bright, open sound that I think suits like modern film scoring very well. If you want that brighter sound with a lot of detail, then you're going to get that here with this library. Okay, let's move on to the cellos with the bow legato here. So I'm expecting a kind of a rich, full sound here. So. Okay, then we have the fingered legato here. All right. So I think I prefer the fingered legato patches in general over the bowed ones, just in terms of the smoothest of the transitions. But on some of those higher notes, I also heard more of the finger press on the string, which I personally kind of like that detail. So yeah, there we go. Let me check here for the basses. I guess it doesn't come with legato, right? So yeah, basses, we have sustains, appassionata, low octaves, then salpont, concertino, saltasto, and then staccatos, and then pizzicato. So yeah, no legato here for the basses. So let's have a listen to that. All right, a little lower and grittier there. Not very much vibrato, surprisingly. So I don't think appassionata, that term fits too well for the basses here, at least for those sustains. But yeah, anyway, let's hear the ensemble. So now we get the entire ensemble. mapped up across the entire keyboard. Again, really great for sketches and getting general ideas down without having to load in those individual, instruments on the tracks. Cool. Let's hear the concertino sustains. Yeah, I really like how the vibrato kind of seeps in there on those higher dynamic layers. Very cool. Okay, let's hear the staccato now for the ensemble. All right, then we have some pizzicatos. All right, let's get into these aleatoric runs here. So we only have a few of them, 4 of these keys here. So. All right, then we have let's quickly check out harmonic glissandi. Yeah, very nice, quite eerie. Violins, solfaticello, sustains. Quite scratchy there. Let's hear the soltasto, and then we'll hear the penderecki. All right, let's wrap it up with the penderecki. There we go. And I believe each section has their own variation on those aleatoric articulations as well. So yeah, really, really cool. If I had to give my just overall thoughts again, I would say that I think this library is pretty well balanced in terms of standard articulations and the more out there ones. I think the more different articulations, the more interesting ones, they play a pretty important role, but I still like the idea of having, legato patches, staccato patches, pizzicato patches, just to give you that base. So this feels more of like an expansion, if you will, to CineStrings Core. They gave you most of the core like articulation stuff, more of the basic set in the core library, but this one expands a little bit further. It gives you more of those effects and stuff, kind of similar to what they did with Cinebrass Core and Pro. In terms of the sound, it's very up close, it's very detailed, very bright. So if you're looking for a darker sound, this might not be the perfect library for you. Maybe go with something like Performance Samples or even CSS that can get you really far. And then do keep in mind that at least at the time of this recording, it's only available in MUSIO. So If you do want a contact version, that might be something in the pipeline for them, but at the moment, I think it's MUSIO only. If you do want to try it out, though, feel free to use my link down below. It is an affiliate link, so if you do sign up and become a paying member of MUSIO, then help support the channel and helps me make more videos just like these, and it's greatly appreciated. Of course, there's no obligation, but you can support the channel by using my link down below to sign up for MUSIO if you want to try that out. And of course, if you want my sample library recommendations all in one place, then I would highly recommend you checking out my sample library buyer's guide. It's a place where I've basically put in all the sample libraries I use on a regular basis, all the orchestral sections, strings, brass, winds, percussion. I've put in extras as well, like pianos, jazz libraries, ethnic libraries, all that stuff condensed into one PDF guide. I've listed all the prices and the utilities as well. So it's super handy if you want to keep that on hand and you want to look for a new library in the future and you're curious about my thoughts on it potentially, then it might be in there and you can keep it as just a freebie on hand, So I want to give it to you as a gift as well. You can check the description below for that guide as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next video and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.